Oh, man. You know, the crazy thing, you've been commenting on our Facebook page, Barry.
What?
Yes.
There's my message.
All this privilege.
What a cup. This is the bomb of a coffee cup, chump.
Yeah. That's all it is.
That's nice.
That's all you need. That's nice.
Anyway.
Zach Samus, thank you for your comments. How you doing? What's happening? Before I start with that, I mean, if you've clicked on this video, this is going to be an interesting one because we're talking about something that in this country, but in many countries around the world, is an actual problem. It's the division that we have as people based off color, religion, actually also just opinions, just having a thought. It's anything. We've managed to do this amazing thing as human beings and find a way to divide ourselves on everything. Like, do you remember that time, I think it was a few years ago, with that stupid dress thing? What color do you see? Is it purple? Is it gold? I was watching, so it was one of those things, one of those social media things.
Yeah.
Man, and people were fighting.
Over stupid things.
Over the color of a dress. Like, how could you be so stupid? You can't even, what's wrong? You need to get your eyes I was like, you guys are fighting over something so dumb. And I now get why politicians are able to do what they do. Because we divide ourselves and they just slot in and keep on doing what they do. It's wild.
Yeah, you know, I've done that teaching a number of times now on the coin. And
spoken about it in here 1,000 times.
And standing on the edge of the coin. And it's fascinating. You know, I had the thought this morning, Sully, when we were talking about this, is that I was thinking people have the inability to stand on the coin, but that's not true. Everyone has the ability to stand on the edge. People have the desire not to stand on the edge.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's better for me to not.
And as we progress, and I say progressed with social media, but I think we've actually digressed.
Yeah.
As social media has expanded, everyone has an opinion.
Yep.
Everyone has an opinion.
Yep.
And we're going to give our opinion, which is great. but the reality is when you have an opinion, are you open to other people's opinions as well? But, you know, I heard it years ago. Someone said to me, he said, you know, the problem with social media, it's become the toilet door of society.
Yeah.
You can sneak in there to have a dump and write whatever you want behind the door, and no one will ever do it. And you can't be friggin' challenged. And it's exactly the same here, except people actually dump all their shit on Facebook.
Yeah. And you know,
and then you can't, there's no, they don't want dialogue. It's an attack.
Yeah.
They're like, get a life, man.
But I mean, how do we engage or solve problems or come to a way to move forward if we cannot dialogue?
But people don't want to solve problems, Sully. They want a result. They want to have what they want to have.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And I think that's the problem, and I see it in the world all over the place.
Yeah.
Give me what I want to have. When I want to have, no problem, you solved the problem. Well, okay, but you haven't solved the problem. You just created a result, but you haven't solved the problem.
Like, I mean, it's interesting because like on the podcast with myself and Nicole, you guys can check that out tomorrow. We were actually talking about and there was actually some stats. So 40 to 60% of 2,300 people, I think, that were surveyed, South Africans that were surveyed, believe that their lives are where their lives are because of external factors, things that are the past, things that are not in their control, and they are okay with that. 40 to 60%.
You see, I have a different mindset. External factors are external factors. They happen. COVID happened.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of me, I don't know, blaming the Chinese, blaming the Russians, blaming you, or blaming anybody for COVID? COVID came.
Yeah.
The question was that I had to ask myself, in the circumstances that I find myself, what can I do? What do I have in my control? What do I have in my control? Because I could complain about everything, and I could blame everybody, while I was there, but I could do nothing. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
Because we could, in our business, we could only take control of what we could take control of, and we had to think, how are we going to move forward? How are we going to manage this? How are we going to get from being a predominantly in-room business to a predominantly online business. Well, there was no. How often did you hear me whinge and whine?
Never.
I didn't, because I didn't waste my time whinging and whining. I had to take action, and you had to take action, and we moved forward. So I think that's the problem. Is it's much easier for people to sit and blame.
Yeah.
You know, that there's a wonderful flip chart that I've taught for years that I learned from Blair Singer. That flip chart that says go above the line. When you live above the line, you take responsibility.
Yeah.
When you live below the line, you make excuses, blame, justify, deny, and eventually quit.
Yes.
And it's too easy to go below the line, because it's much easier for me to blame you. Why, for example, if our business is not doing well, as the owner of the business, I can blame you. It's still his fault because he's not bringing enough leads.
Yeah. Well.
Instead of actually taking ownership and saying, okay, so what am I doing to facilitate it, that either I hold you accountable to doing what you're meant to be doing, or I let you go and bring on somebody else, or we relook at our system.
Yeah.
But blaming you is the easiest thing to do. And it's the same thing. Rather than taking, no one said life is easy. Life is not. You know, I love what Jordan Peterson says. Life has always been a struggle.
Yeah.
It has always been a struggle. It is 12 rules for life. He says life has always been a struggle. It always will be. It always has been. It's how you deal with that struggle. And most people in today's world, people want it easy, Sully. I hate where I'm at. I want it easy. You must sort it out for me, or somebody else must sort it out. And if it's not, it's their fault. And we all come from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different. No one can choose that.
Yeah.
You can't choose where you came from.
No.
I can't choose where I came from. What we can do is we can choose the decisions we make going forward.
Yeah. And
That,
you know, the thing is, like, what I've also been thinking a lot about is actually how, and this is like based off like your teaching, life is actually pretty simple if you think about it.
yeah.
We've made it complicated, right? So for example,
But simple and easy are two different things.
100%.
People don't want it simple,
Yeah.
but they want it easy.
Yes.
They want it easy, and then they're not prepared to do the simple things.
And for me, the way I look at it, the way I'm looking at it now is, and I've always said life is chaos, but actually I've realized, and I went, actually life is quite simple, right? If you, and I based it on the fact of that the video we're gonna discuss as we go on. But if you do what you need to do to have what you want to have, you done. That's for me. That's the way I look at it, right? So, and you said it at the last thing, right? Yourselves. If you want to have money, right? You want to have money right now.
Yeah.
Go rob a bank.
Well, you
Go
can't
do a cash and transfer.
There's lots of ways to
Do what you need to do to have what you need to have. Simple. But then there's going to be consequences
100%.
to that thing. And you've got to be prepared to accept those consequences. But people don't want to do that. Because for them, it's easier to blame somebody else.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
for not
have.
having.
I don't have because...
So my question is, do people actually know what they want to have?
No. They think they know what they want to have.
So,
People think that they want to have more money.
well, they think that if they have more money, it'll solve all their problems. Okay, maybe for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like 2 weeks.
But the reality is it's understanding. It's understanding. If I gave you $20 million,
Gee whiz.
well, it would harm you. It would harm you more.
God.
It would hurt you more than
Yeah.
unless you're very clear on how to make that $20 million work.
Oof. Yeah, and I have to get very clear on it very quickly because I don't have it.
Well, and that's the problem is that unless your mindset understands how to deal with money, you're going to blow the money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, you'll blow the money, and in 3 years, that's why lotto winners.
Yeah.
I think the stat is 97% of all lotto winners never have money after 3 years. Not because they didn't have the money, because their mindset and everything is not equipped to be able to handle it. And then guess what? They'll blame everybody else. They lose their money, and then they blame their family for taking their money, and blame their family for going on holidays, blame this, blame that. Cock, man, you're the one that wasted the money.
Yeah, I think, and there's a show on, I think it's SABC, one of the SABC channels that I enjoy watching when I get the chance to, called I Blew It.
Yeah.
With people who come on, either won the lotto, either got
Inheritance
or whatever. And one thing I actually do like about it is that towards the end of it, you actually see those people taking accountability and going, I blew it. It was on me. Yes, there were people involved with it, but all of a sudden, and like you like to teach, I went from buying 100 Rand jeans from Pep to now I'm shopping at Sanson City and I'm buying jeans for 4,000 Rand. I never did. Like one guy I saw, he did all of that.
Yeah.
He still lived in I think it was in Soweto or something like that. He hung his clothes on the line, woke up in the morning and all his clothes were gone.
There we go.
I was broken. And he was like, why did I? That didn't make any. At the time, I thought it made sense. But when I look back, what was I thinking? Why would I leave 5,000 Rand jeans on?
No one wanted to steal his 200 Pep jeans, his 500 Versace jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Jump.
I can sell that now.
So that showed that his behaviors didn't change. His behaviors were exactly the same, but his spending habits didn't change either.
Yeah.
He just increased the level of his spend because suddenly he had money.
Yeah.
So you started off by saying, we did that video.
Yes.
And in that video, I was talking to a group of young people in a company, and the statement I made in that video is where we are is where we are. Whether we are black, whether we are white, whether we are Indian, colored, green, blue, doesn't matter. Whatever our religious background, we are where we are in life. And the statement I made is we are where we are in life, and how we handle where we are right now will determine what we create in the future.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because we got pounded. An interesting part is, well, I got pounded, but you ran social media for me, which was really funny. But we got pounded by people saying,
because you're white.
I'm a racist, da because I'm white. And not once did I ever say, anything. Not once did I say I agree with the past. What I said was, you can do nothing about the past.
Yeah.
We can't. Can you do anything about where you were born?
No. Zero.
Your parents passed away when you were young. Yes.
Yes.
Can you do anything about that?
No.
Can you do
Zero.
anything about the fact that you were brought up by your mum, and you were brought up in a family that, if I might say, wasn't your family, but they are your family, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about that, can you? So if you sit back and blame the fact that your parents died when you were young, how's that going to help you?
Yeah, and that's such a great point there, because that is something that I know that I went along with for a very long time. So it was blame.
You were the victim.
Yeah. It was everybody else's fault.
Feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
But the reality is, in your life, how effective were you?
Not effective at all.
No, you were a lazy little shit.
Horrible.
Because I knew you then.
You did.
Was that true?
Yeah, 100%.
And at that stage, you blamed me because I came and helped in your family business, and I was the I was the asshole.
Making me do work.
Yes.
What are you doing? My life is fine.
So we play this blame game, don't
Yeah.
we? And blaming didn't help you at all.
No.
Because at some stage you had to go above the line and take responsibility for your life.
Yeah, I think if anything, it set me back. But I can't go back and change that. There's nothing I can do about that. I can sit here and moan and I was lazy and it was Barry's fault and all the. Or I can actually go, okay, cool, that's what happened. For me, the way I'm now looking at it and going, sure, what a journey, man. That was interesting to get from where I was to getting to here. I would have never thought, based on that person, I would have never thought I would have gotten to this person.
100%.
Right? So for me, it was more about the journey. And I think that was the fascinating thing about this post that I'm going to just honestly blindly say here. I feel as though 85% of people who commented on that post did not read nor listen to the post. They looked at the first sentence and they listened to the first 10 seconds of what you said and already made up their mind. But more so because of the person that was speaking.
And it supports their narrative.
And it supports their narrative. Because it's funny, because I have heard black speakers say the exact same
I've heard
thing.
Lucy Timberquote say
I've heard it say
I've heard Lucy say exactly the same stuff.
I've heard Billy say the same stuff. And nobody went as crazy as they went. Actually, they more championed it. They were like, yeah, we agree. We've got to do something about... We do it. And it's like, nah. No, white man, you can't say that. Bro, that's big. Like, firstly, white guy's not responding to you. This guy's busy training.
That for me was the interesting part, is that you were doing all the responding.
Yeah.
Not from instruction from me.
No.
I mean,
you were finding out after I responded.
Because that's how we work. Is you and I understand our context.
Yes.
We understand where we're going in life. We understand why we do in life. We're both on the same mission. We want to make a significant positive impact on the entrepreneur and business landscape of Africa.
Africa.
That's why we do it here. So we
like
can
Africans.
help people make a difference. And you the one corresponding.
Yep.
And being attacked.
Yep.
And going, okay. So just show it. People will blindly and some of the stuff. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. Great, thank you for the comments. But you know what was really clear, Sully? Very few people could. It on all sides it became an attack. You watch people, someone would, and instead of people actually asking questions, why do you feel like that? Why do you think like that? Tell me more about that. You help me understand where this thinking comes from.
Yeah.
There was an attack. I mean, like, don't be a stupid effing idiot.
Yep.
You're like, dude, you're never going to create any form of unity if there's this attack, because what happens is either side of the coin, all parties are just going to defend how they think.
Yeah.
And you're going to create more and more division.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, we just made a statement, and I say we because that's how we see the world.
Yeah.
Is that, I feel, yeah, me, I think a pretty high level of empathy.
Oh yeah.
I feel for people when they're struggling.
Yeah.
But my sympathy is not very high.
No.
But my empathy is very high. I feel for you, and I will do whatever I can to help you help yourself.
Yeah.
I don't believe in giving out free handouts. Because if I gave you, like I said, if I gave you 10 million rand and you're not in the right mindset, or you don't understand how to use money to make it grow, in a year's time you'll have no more money.
Yeah, you cool, man.
Does that make sense? But if I teach you,
yes,
and say, Sully, go and find, I mean, how many times have we used this example? Sully, can you go borrow, let's say, 2,000 rand?
Mm-hmm.
Go borrow 2,000 rand and come and buy 5 books from me.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, for 2,000, this book sells at 450 rand. If you come and buy 10 books from me, I'll sell it to you at 300 rand.
Cool.
Okay, for example. So you go, I say, can you go find 3,000 rand?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you go, yes. Okay, good. Okay, go. Off you go. Now it's in your hands.
Yeah.
Go find a way to borrow 3,000 rand. Go do a deal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where it stops, because people don't want to do that. No. I want the money. No, go, because you have to take that step. So off you go. Let's say you go do it. You go borrow 3,000 rand. Okay, and then you come and you buy a book, or you buy 10 books.
Yeah.
You take those 10 books, and you go and sell them.
Yeah.
Okay, you go sell them, and we'll teach you how to sell them. You go sell them. You go to door, you go find companies, you go speak to people, you go speak to salespeople, you go sell those books, and you sell them for 450 rand. You make 150 bucks. You sold 10, you make 1,500 bucks. You put it aside. Okay, you take the 3,000 bucks that you have, you do it again. Now you have 3,000 bucks profit and 3,000 bucks working capital. You take the 3,000 bucks, you pay the person back. You owe no money. Now you have 3,000 bucks working capital. Now you go out and you do it again. If you did that in 1 week, if you did that 1 week and 1 week, in 2 weeks you'll pay your debt back. If you did it 1 month and then another month, in 2 months, it depends on how fast and how hard you want to work.
Yeah.
And how effective you want to become. Does that make sense?
100%.
So how does our past stop us from doing that?
Doesn't.
Well, in the simplicity of that, how does our past stop us from doing that?
I would say, and because I'm just basing this on what the social verse might say back, unless physically or whatever something has happened to you within your past that has prevented you from being able to do that, that's for me the only exception.
Unless you can't speak, unless you can't walk, unless you I get that.
Yeah,
I get that, and that'll happen. But that could happen to anybody. You could have had a car accident and you can't. I get that. But for most people, that's not the case.
No.
For most people, it's the desire. It's okay, what am I prepared to do to get what I want to have? But then the problem is, yeah, but I don't want $1,500. I want one
That's
cup.
not enough.
I want $1 million.
Yeah.
Dude, you're not going to get $1 million. Yeah, if you go do this week in and week out and week in and week out for the next 52 weeks, and you put aside and you make $1,500 a week, and then you learn the business model, in 52 weeks you'd have 100,000 rand. Now, yes, you got to live, but now you may have saved 20,000 of that 100,000 rand. Now you start growing, but people don't want to do that because that's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hard.
It is.
And so I go,
But it's simple.
very simple.
Yeah.
But so what precludes people from doing that?
Nothing.
Themselves taking responsibility, doing all that sort of stuff. Why? Because we live in this place where people have this idea that in order for you to be successful, you must be driving a friggin' big car and having a big house and a big car. Kakman, that's not success. Success is the ability to embrace the journey and change your life one step at a time. For me, that's success.
Yeah, and
from where you're at.
I think that's probably also, especially in this country, something that has become and I mean globally as well, but I'm speaking of this country and this continent because this is where we are and this is where we're from. People have started to, that's how success is now viewed, right? It's the big cars, it's the big house, it's the fancy clothes. That's success, that determines success. And speaking of that, like one of the comments that I got was about who are these people who never benefited from the past, right? The white people who never benefited. And I put out a list of people who never benefited, including yourself. None of those people that I had mentioned do you ever see being flashy, being this, being that. They are actually a bunch of people that most people actually don't even know. Most people don't know that these people even exist. But they have done what they did what needed to be done to have what they wanted to have, right? And I base that also now on why I put you in there, because I was like, well, this is a guy who came from another country legally before we start deporting people. You came here legally, no real, I mean, you said that you can't get a bank account when you came.
No. I was a resident. I had a work permit to work here.
But you are white. You're supposed to have all these privileges.
And they wouldn't give me a bank account.
Go figure. Why?
Because the banking system was the banking system, John. That's a whole different podcast.
No, we don't. I don't want to do that podcast.
This is not going to that one. But so, yeah, now someone's probably going to say, yeah, but you could have just tapped your family for money.
What?
I couldn't. My dad lost his farm in Zim.
Well, so, you're saying lost. I actually think lost is the wrong word. It was taken.
Well,
let's call it
or donated.
Okay, yeah, it was a donation, charitable.
However I look at it, is my dad had a farm, and I moved here in 2000, and in 2000 my dad's farm was taken, and he lost his farm. He had 3 months to get off, lost his farm. He was 65 years old. He didn't have huge amounts of savings, and he lost his farm and lost his business. Wow. So I could phone my dad up and say, "Hey, Dad, loan me some money because I'm in South Africa." No, I couldn't. But that's life.
Yes.
I'm not angry that my dad lost his farm, because guess what? There's nothing I can do about it. So if I'm being held in the anger of him having lost his farm and that could have been my future, and that, well, I'm being held in 2000 and I'm living my life in 2000. Okay, it's 2025. I've moved on way past that.
25 years, man.
25. I've moved on way past that. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing I can do about COVID having come. There's nothing I can do about in my business journey having been screwed by some partners and lost some money. I could have. What I can do is I can learn from that so I don't repeat those mistakes. That's the deal. Yeah. But I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's this. I love what Alan C. Walter says. He says, and I talked it yesterday to a client, a room of managers with a client of mine, and Alan says this. He says, salespeople create the future, and what he really means by that is what you sell yourself on today will create your future tomorrow. If you are going to sell yourself on today, why you can't have what you want to have because you don't have or never had, you're never going to have it.
Never.
You know, it was
Impossible.
the example. You know, I think the example I told you was, it was in that room when I did that talk. There was a guy in that room, and I said, "How many of you think reading would be a good thing to do?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, we need to start reading, studying sales." I said, "Great." So I have my 2 books here. Okay, and the 2 books sell for 350 and 450 rand, so that's 800 rand. I tell you what, if you want 2 books, I'll give them to you at a special discounted rate of $600.
Okay.
The guy said, "Yeah." I said, "But what? I have no money." So I said, "You have no money, or you can't apply your mind to go find $600. He said, "I have no money." So I said, "Okay." So I said, "Do you think," I said, "in the 2 hours that I've been teaching you, have you got value what I've taught from?" And he said, "Yes." So I said, "Do you think if you take my salesman's journey, which is 32 years of my story and what I've learned in sales and making money and business and all that, do you think that'll help you?" He said, "Without a doubt." So I said, "Do you think learning from these 2 books is worth $600? He said, "Without a doubt." So I said, "Well, what's stopping you?" "I have no money." And he couldn't get through the fact that I have no money, so I can't have.
Yeah.
And then I said to him, "Well, find the money." And one of the guys in the room said, "I'll lend you $600 at 40% interest." Okay.
What's the consequence?
Well, the deal is how badly do you want it?
Yeah.
And then I said, "Okay, so if you buy the books at $600, you borrow it at 40% interest, and you pay it back over 3 months. Okay, can you learn enough to increase your sales, to make more commissions, so you can fund your education?" But the reality was that was if I had said, "Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the books for free," guess what the guy would have said? "Yeah, thanks."
And he wouldn't have, but he wouldn't have valued it.
And how much value would that create? Because there's no skin in the game.
Yeah.
So, well, what happened is he didn't take the books. It was like, okay, no problem. Everyone left after the training. Young lady came back in and she said to me, "Are those books still available for sale?" I said, "Yes." She said, "You said they were 800. I said, "Yes." She said, "Could I have them?" I said, "Sure. But well done for taking action. You can have them at 600. And then I said to her, "Well, now you have them at 600. Go read them. And the other 20 young people that were in here, go rent the book out to them at $50.
Yeah.
Get them to read it, and you'll make your money back." But it's teaching people to think like that. Otherwise, when we don't have what we want to have, and especially in this world that moves so fast, where the level of entitlement, I think because of the speed of what we can get in the world, the level of entitlement is so high that I want what I want to have. You must give it to me now because I want it.
I want it.
Versus, and you said something really important, versus walking the journey.
Yeah.
Because you're not, I mean, you've been working with me for 12 years now, I think. Probably close to 12 years.
Yeah.
And we've walked a journey.
We have.
You know,
Hasn't been an easy journey. Hasn't been a simple, it's been a simple journey.
but are you a different person to who you were 12 years ago?
Vastly.
Has your past changed?
My past, no.
No. So nothing in your past changed, did it?
No.
Nothing in your past changed.
Past is still what it is. It's still.
But has your past stopped you from getting what you want?
No.
Or have you stopped yourself at times?
Oh, very much.
But you get that.
So, like, I'll give you that, and I think we've spoken about it before, where I don't know what was happening, but like somehow, some way, I just stumbled across some very black conscious content, and I went down that rabbit hole, and it was blame the white man for everything under the sun.
You became Sully X.
Yeah, I was Sully X big time. Like, I was into it. And then I kind of realized that, but what am I gaining from this exactly? Like, okay, this is a great, the consciousness is nice and it's lovely to have, but I'm genuinely still broke. Like, I'm genuinely still moving from month to month. Actually, sometimes it's not even month to month. It's moment to moment. Like, if I have, I have. If I don't, I don't. If I eat, I... And the thought hit me one day when I was walking to work, and I was like, yeah, I can't keep blaming everybody else. Like, I actually can't blame anyone, because I even at that time I was blaming my mother because she had the business had shut down, and I was blaming everybody. And I was like, yeah, well, what did I do? What have I done? I'm the one who's suffering here. Nobody else is suffering. Nobody else. I'm the one who has to go through this. I'm the one who's struggling.
Yeah, you were the central actor.
The central role, central figure. And it's so crazy that at that moment in time, like, I received a lifeline, which was a call from you. I could have, and this is the beauty of it, I could have either taken the lifeline, or I could have said, no, white man, I want your help.
But, I mean, coupled with that, you had been in a number of my events. You'd been doing some work with me. I'd worked with you in the business. You actually, at that stage, didn't like me. You did, but you didn't. If that makes sense.
And the funny thing is that it wasn't about race then. Right?
No.
It had nothing at all to do with
You didn't like
race.
me because I had your number.
Yeah.
I knew the game you were
I
playing.
wanted to do stuff.
I knew the game you were playing, and you didn't like it because I was holding you accountable to do shit, and you were pushing back.
Yep.
So what happened is, suddenly that happened, and you had a choice. Because you could have made the choice, stuff you, I'm not going. Okay,
Yeah.
well, no problem. And then you could still be blaming. Or you could have gone, and then someone would have said, but I thought Barry phoned you and offered you to come work with him.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, but, you know, Barry is this and Barry is that, and give all my power to Barry and make it all about Barry and how he's the problem. And then the thing is, I would have probably ended up around people who went, yeah, you're right.
100%.
That makes sense.
And Nicole teaches that, and it comes from Alan's teaching. Is you then go out and you find people who agree with you, and you create common agreement, and that justifies. So everyone agrees that it's everybody else's fault and our life sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Now what?
Well, your life still sucks.
Yeah. We get to still agree about it.
How are you going to change it? So the only way you change it is eventually you stand up and say, I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
It's like hanging out. I don't know. You know, I hang out, eat friggin', I don't know, chicken and chips every day and pork pies every day, and we get fat and work really hard, but get all fat. And then between the two of us, we come to an agreement that we work too hard and we don't have time to train and all that sort of. Okay, great. And then we find other fat people, and we get into agreement with them, and all of us sit around the table being fat, agreeing that it's not our fault because we work so hard we can't train.
Oh, bad.
Until we get to the stage when one of us goes, you know what, stop this, I'm tired of being fat.
Yeah.
And I get my ass in the gym and
Somebody breaks out.
And I do something, and then suddenly I arrive at our fat hangout, and I'm not fat anymore. And then you guys will tell me, hey, but what are you doing? How dare you do this?
This is not the agreement.
But does that make sense? And then I say, hey guys, why don't you come to gym with me, and I'll help you lose weight? No, I can't. I can't. So unless you take responsibility for your life, nothing will change.
And that's for me, and I think that's the thing. The interesting part about that video was, it actually really, to me, it showed me what. And I love social media. I've always loved social media, but it showed me how easy it is to hide behind your phone, because there was this one guy. I wanted to ask him, but then I was like, I'm not going to get into it. I felt like he was speaking for all black people. And I was like, where was this meeting held where you became the spokesman? Because I wasn't invited to the meeting where you speak on our behalf. You keep saying these things. But I realized how easy it is to end up down a rabbit hole with people like that.
Yeah.
And then you could see, yes, he started to develop a little circle around him of people who were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, you guys are all on. And I'm now sitting and I'm going, I imagine you guys don't know each other at all, but you guys are all sitting in your little circles doing this with your circles of friends and not moving anywhere with your lives.
Correct.
You're blaming everybody.
Well, they probably
else.
are moving. They're moving backwards.
Yeah.
The situation's getting worse.
Yeah.
They're getting more and more broke.
More and more broke, more and more frustrated.
And the more and more broke we get, the easier it is to blame everybody else. Instead of actually owning the fact, right now, who's broke? I'm broke. Great, what are you going to do about it? And have I been broke? Friggin' many times, you know. How many times have I nearly lost this business over the 20 years I've had it? A number of times. Stuff happens. Over COVID, we nearly lost everything.
Yep.
Well, somewhere we did, but the reality is we didn't sit around and blame COVID. We took action. Was it easy? No, it was damn friggin' hard. It was damn hard.
And you know, that's the thing also about this business, and I was thinking about it when I was driving in this morning, but going into its 20th year. 19th year, 20th year.
19th year.
19th year.
Yeah, we're in 19 years.
And I said, I kind of said something along those lines in the comments, and I used the phrase brick by brick, and obviously that was taken completely and utterly left. I don't know. You can think about it like that, but I'm talking about when you build a building, you build it brick by brick. You know? Okay, so that's what I'm referencing.
Yeah.
How many handouts did you receive, or how much help did you receive because of the color of your skin while running this business for 19 years?
Because of the color of my skin?
Yeah, but I'm just that, and for me, this is a very important question for me.
What I received was I partnered with people who knew me, and what I believe is, and they weren't handouts.
No.
I had to raise capital. They raised capital because of my character, because of who I was, because of the experience, nothing else. So, in fact, in COVID, I couldn't get a COVID loan.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wasn't BEE. But did you hear me jump up and down and complain and say how unfair it was?
Nope.
Or did I say, okay, well, we can't get a COVID loan, so what do we have to do? We have to sell the shit out of whatever we have.
Yeah.
And we just doubled down and sold hard and worked hard. And what did I do? I liquidated the few assets that I had built up so that we could keep going.
To keep
everyone in our business got paid. Yes, the team got paid. Everyone got paid. We kept going. Came out of COVID with nearly nothing.
Yeah.
Not nothing, but nearly nothing. And that's life. We didn't sit around and complain. I didn't complain that this is unjust and the reason I lost my business was because of COVID and because I couldn't get a loan because I'm a 55-year-old white guy. I didn't do that. I went, okay, it is what it is. I can't control those things. What can I control? And I think that's such a hard thing. And when we talk about the Suli, I think people mistake this because they think, oh, you make it sound so easy. It is not easy.
No.
It is not easy. And I empathize for people, but I can't, when I look at certain people from all walks of life, I look at certain people living in a shack or living, in my brain, it's like, that is freaking damn hard. That is hard. That is damn hard. But the reality is in that hardness, what's the next step that you can do to improve it? That does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what's the next step? And that process will take time. How do I know it takes time? Because people have moved out of those environments to create something different for themselves.
Many.
Which means if people have done it, you can do it. You can. It's not easy. Does that make sense? It's like I bought a franchise. As you know, after 3 years, that franchise collapsed globally. I was 2.5 million rand in debt. That's a hard place to friggin' be. I don't know, because of my privilege, someone that said, oh, here, son, here's 2.5. I didn't have that. No. I had to get out. I had to sell. I had to find a way. I had to connect with people I knew. And over a period of time, I clawed that money back.
Yeah.
Over time. No. So, and I think that's what people miss, is that in that thing, nowhere was I saying, oh, I don't associate with how tough the past was.
That would just be.
That does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can see that it was tough, but guess what? The past was tough for the Japanese coming out of World War II. They built one of the strongest economies in the world. The past was tough for Singapore when they came out of being under British rule.
Yeah.
They built one of the strongest economies in the world. The past was tough for Rwanda 30 odd years ago when they came out of when they came out of what they came out of, and they built one of the leading economies in Africa. So the past was tough.
100%.
But every single one of those leaders said, let's learn from the past, never allow the past to happen again, but move towards the future.
Yeah, and I think that's where, because a thought that I had, right, and I'm basing this on the people that we know, the people that we associate with, right? So I look at somebody like Benisa Nakani, who grew up in
Tembisa,
but also in the apartheid era.
100%.
For as long as I've known Billy, I've heard Billy speak, I've never heard him say that prevented him from being where he is.
It didn't. It fueled him to get better.
His story of walking barefoot to go to school, barefoot
from barefoot to snakeskin shoes.
Yes.
That was his signature. That was his signature talk.
What a guy, man. What a line.
And I mean, I know why Billy was so good, because he went to a private school and learned to be really eloquent in English.
Yeah.
And
Did all of that.
he did what Billy did.
Yeah.
And somewhere an opportunity opened up and he took it.
Yes. And that's the thing, is like, I feel
Whatever that opportunity was, whether the opportunity was to come and buy 10 books and go sell them,
whatever it was, yeah.
he took it. And those opportunities, Sully, come in different sizes. But people have this idea, I want the opportunity I want, rather than let me take the opportunity that presents itself to use it to create the next opportunity. I on this podcast, if you cut this piece off around books, I bet you, I guarantee you, we will have no one saying, how can I get access to 10 books and can I learn how to sell them to make $1,500?
Oh, no, you're on.
No one.
That's not going to happen.
Which is sad.
That's ludicrous.
Because if someone did that,
Well,
do you think we'd help them?
I
think
we'd
work with them.
The funny thing is, I think you would generally make the time to do it. You generally make the time
Why
to
wouldn't
sit down
I?
with that person, walk them through the journey, teach them how. This is what you're gonna do. This is how you're gonna do it. Teach them how to make a list. You'll generally do that.
Why wouldn't I? Because that's a little bit of giving back.
Yeah.
But they have to take that first step. That person needs to come and say, hey, I heard you on the podcast. I went and raised 3,000 Rand. Can I have 10 books? How do I do it? I'll give them a bit of free advice. Go out, do this. When you've done it, come back.
And
and what am I watching? I want to see person's willingness to go do the simple but hard things to get it done. The quicker they do it, the more they get it done. The more they learn to overcome the obstacles. Some people don't have cars, some people won't have cars. Those are obstacles. Can you get through the obstacles?
It's interesting because the beginning of this year, we kind of launched a project that we had come up with of building a business from zero. Took some youngsters in, gave them an opportunity. You were teaching them. You were honestly
for free.
And I mean, what that usually costs is we're talking like 45 grand to get what you were giving to them.
Yes.
And what we got back was nothing. They didn't take the opportunity, and I'm not trying to slate anybody here. I'm just saying, and that one thing that it really emerged for me was this younger generation wants exactly what you're speaking about. I want it now. I want the opportunity that looks good for me. I don't want the opportunity where you're telling me I have to do work.
Yeah.
Right? Where I have to actually walk a journey. Right? Where I actually have to lead something. And I feel like that's the position that we're in right now, where 50 years from now, I'm very concerned about where South Africa is going to be if I don't do something about where we are at right now.
But isn't that our mission?
100%.
For me, it's not only South Africa, it's Africa. We live on the most amazing continent on the planet, with the most amazing resources, with everything. But we're selling ourselves short.
I mean, Cape Town International just won best airport in the world. Cleanest airport in the world.
So, you mentioned that in that discussion we talked about, if you want to make money, there's, as Robert Kiyosaki says, there's millions of ways to go to financial heaven.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the consequences. So that's what I said to those young people. If you want $1 million, well, there's many ways to do it. One is, I don't know, go do cash in transit, go rob a bank. I wouldn't advise it, but if you want if you want $1 million tomorrow, well, go join a cash and transit group and find out how they do it, become part of the group and go do it.
Yeah.
But understand the consequences.
Yeah.
The consequences of pursuing that million, you could get shot, you can get caught, you could get put in jail for the rest of your life. Okay, great. Another way to make $1 million.
Sell 1 million books.
No, you don't even have to, because you're going to make $150 a book. You have to sell 10,000 books.
Oh. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Now, selling 10,000 books may take 3 years.
Man.
But guess what? In the journey, you're going to learn how to make money.
How to do it.
And then you're going to learn how to build a business. Then you're going to learn. You decide what you want, but people don't want to wait for the 3 years to get that million. They want it tomorrow. And guess what? It may not take 3 years because you sell a book and then you build. That's like people look at Bezos. That's how Bezos started selling books from his garage. On his bicycle. And people go, oh, you shouldn't be a billionaire.
Bezos.
Why shouldn't he be a billionaire? He started out like every other person has the opportunity.
No, he literally, actually, all he did was take the paper route concepts that they have in America
And sell books.
and turn it into books. That was actually what it was.
How many businesses in this country have sales reps? You tell me that I know that if I needed to, I don't know, this business collapsed and they banned trading and everything, I know exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be on the friggin' road, knocking on doors, speaking to business owners, say, I have this book, would you like to buy one? Have this book, do you have a sales team? Would you like, I'll do a deal for you. That's what I'd be doing. Why? Because I'd be generating income over a period of time. I'd build relationships, connect with people, find people, do all that sort of stuff. I'll make some money. Right?
Simple.
Is it going to give me tomorrow I need this? No, it's not. But I need to then say, what's the journey I'm going to walk on? You know, so, can you take that to most products? Of course you can.
Yeah.
One, you have to learn the skill of selling. Okay? You have to be able to sell. But you want to do that. Then, over a period of time, you'll get yourself out of whatever situation you're in or whatever the past has created you to be in. You know, you started a business, you lost your business, and you broke. Great. Well, that's the situation created from the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can blame the fact that your business went bust and a partner screwed you and took all your money. Or you can take ownership and say, how did I allow that to happen? What am I going to do going forward to get out of this problem so that I don't allow it to happen again? Or I'm going to sit and lament and say, oh, it's not my fault and this guy ripped me off. You know, that's the other thing. I mean, I made that statement. If you get scammed or ripped off, you're stupid.
Oh, Lord, that piece.
And that particular person then takes it all racial and says, we stupid. I didn't say, I said,
he said,
and in that video, I said to the people there, if I get scammed, I'm stupid.
Yeah. You have to listen to them. You have to.
I'm stupid. And if you take, what's our definition of stupid? You're stupid when you lack knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
It's not an indictment on your character.
No.
I bought a franchise and I lost the franchise. Why? Because I lacked the knowledge that I needed when I look back in starting that franchise. I now have the knowledge. I won't make the same mistake. But in the definition of stupid, from one of my favorite books, let's have a look. Stupidity. The unknowingness of the correct and precise spirit, knowledge, gain, perception, vision, plan, what, where, when, why, how, importance, value, mood, responsibility, motion, and action, with inaccurately predicted consequences, outcomes, and accomplishments. The unknowingness.
You don't know.
Stupidity is the confusion generated by the negative forces that are created and locked in place by incorrect perception, intention, vision, plan, action. Okay. So it's the unknowingness. So when you go into something and you don't know enough,
you're stupid.
You're stupid because, so guess what? Well, there's two things. You acknowledge that I was stupid to go into that, but I learned, so now I have knowingness, great, so I'm no longer stupid anymore, but I wouldn't have got it if I didn't go in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I'm not going to go in there until I have the knowledge.
Yes.
You know, that's why Kiyosaki, when people ask Robert Kiyosaki, what should I invest in? He says, whatever you study. So you have knowingness. But what happens is people will go, no, invest in property. So someone will run off buy property and then blame you for telling them. But the reality is you didn't study property.
Yeah.
So you were stupid.
Yes. And I actually
and then the guy throws the race card at us.
Yeah, no, that was stupid. I actually told Nicole a story of when I got scammed I was trying to buy a pair of I thought I was buying a pair of sneakers on Black Friday, and they never arrived.
I remember that.
And I was stupid, right? And I acknowledged it because I went, one of the things I actually should have done was went and looked at reviews. How many people have bought from this place? And guess what I did there? After I realized I got scammed.
What?
I went and researched how many people have done reviews. And there was no reviews. There was nobody who had ever bought from this place.
But you wanted the sneakers badly.
Oh, yeah.
And you also sold your little voice that it was going to...
It was a deal.
One little voice was going, go do the research. The other little voice was going, nah, suck, get the sneakers.
It's a deal,
I want the
man.
sneakers. Look
Black
at the deal.
Friday, grab it. Come on, get into it. I was stupid.
And it didn't mean they didn't rip you off. It didn't mean they were bad. They weren't bad and they weren't crooks. It's not what I'm saying.
No.
But you can't do anything about them, can you?
No.
But if you don't do something about you and take responsibility for you, guess what? You're going to do it again.
Yeah, and
you're going to keep repeating that cycle.
That's legit. It's never happened again.
Of course
I
not.
went into a space where I'm like, if I'm going to buy sneakers, I'm going to put the money away for it. I'm going to buy it from a reputable store, these online stores or whatever it might be, because I don't want that to happen to me again, because I didn't do my research, because I was ill-informed. And that comment around the stupidity thing and getting scammed, I was like, yeah, that was a stupid comment, because you're not understanding the context of what is being said.
100%.
And that's all you want to do. You want to actually stand on your soapbox and do your thing.
And that's okay. Do your thing. I don't mind.
For me, exactly. I'm sitting in.
I don't mind.
That was my perception as well. I actually went, you know what? Get it out, man. Say your piece. Do whatever you got to do, because I'm very sure that you are not going to stop this mission from going on. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing. We're gonna keep teaching the way we teach, and it's so funny, because when that video came out, we were in a room with predominantly black people, and you made the exact same statements, and guess what? It got the response of, yes, we need to do something about it. The past is the past. It sucked.
Well, we talked about that, and I had 4 young black guys come up to me and say, Barry, we want to learn more. How do we do this?
Yep.
How do we progress?
Yeah.
And not because I said, stop going on about the past. The past doesn't matter. No, the past does matter, because you learn from the past. But and that's where people get it wrong. I feel for people, for where we come from. I feel for backgrounds. I do. And yes, some of us, we grew up in different environments at different times.
Yeah.
But we all have a past. But it's the future that we create.
100%.
So learn from the past to create the future, and I think that's the biggest thing, but because, there have been some horrific things that have happened in the world in the past. But just go back in history. Throughout all
humanity.
Throughout all humanity.
Yeah.
You go back throughout history. There have been certain groups of people that have subjugated other groups of people. It doesn't matter where you come from, but because it's been religious, it's been racial, but that's life.
Yeah, it's been gender. It's been all types of.
So, that's I understand it's life. It's not right, but it is what it is. So how do we work through what is and create something better?
Yeah, I think that's actually such a spot on point. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. These systems it's exactly the same as like when you first came to South Africa and you wanted to get a bank account and you couldn't. That was the system.
I had to make what it is. I had to work with people. I had to do some stuff. Eventually, I understood the system and I could get a bank. It is what it is.
You didn't stand outside.
Did it piss me off? Yes, it did. It irritated me. And I could have gone into the victim mode, or I went into the solution mode.
Yeah.
I mean, Sully, if you go look at, a number of people come to mind, and you think about their past and you look at people that have had huge trauma in their life, and they come out of that trauma and they use that trauma to create amazing things going forward. David Goggins. Well, look at one particular person that came to mind was that guy Nick Vucicek. The guy that was born with no arms and no legs.
Oh yes, I've seen him.
You watch how that guy lives life. Goodness me, it's like I have no problems in life compared to that. Does that make sense? Yeah. And how he's embraced life and how he's helped other people change their lives. Wow! Amazing. But there are countless things like that. Examples. People that have had accidents and been amputees and then got up and done certain stuff to you're like, oh wow. Yeah. So I mean there was a guy in Comrades who comes out of the Cape Flats, and I think if I got the story right, he had been in jail for drugs and and he ended up he ran from Cape Town to Durban and then did the comrades to highlight the plight of people. Oh, wow. There's a guy that lives in my opinion, one of the toughest friggin' environments in this country. And his past, something happened to him where he's gone, I need to create a better future. I'll use what I've learned in my past to create a better future. Great. Well, is that open to all of us?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
1000%.
Do we want to do that? Well, that's your choice. That's where we have a choice.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard. And that's why so few people do it, because it's so damn hard. It's easier to stay where we're at and create blame.
So if this is your first time, I know it's the end of the pod, but thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you guys got value. My name is Sully. This is Barry Mitchell. This is the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Don't forget to give us a bing if you found value in this episode. And yeah, that's it. This was good.
And have some open dialogue. Have open dialogue.
Please.
Have an opinion, but discuss the opinion. Don't attack people.
Opinions are valid, man.
I think that's the biggest thing. Is have an opinion. Stand on the edge of the coin and ask people questions. Learn how to do that. You may disagree with them, but learn to find common ground. You know, you and I often have differing opinions.
Yeah.
But we're on the same mission, and the only way you and I grow together is we discuss these things.
We've had different opinions for years.
You say stuff to me, and I'll go, interesting. You say that. Tell me more.
Yeah.
And then you'll ask me, and you'll go, shit, I didn't
see it that way.
I didn't see it that way. And then by the end of the conversation, you and I are both in a different place, and are more united. So anyway, that's it.
See you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it. We enjoy having you guys. We'll see you next week on the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Be awesome.
Bye.